YouTube, welcome to a brand new career mode on Manchester United. This is a little bit of a weird episode because I recorded episode 1 and the footage has got corrupt, so we're going to have to start again. Obviously, I've already started the team, everything's lined up, ready. So I brought you straight to the overview screen on the career mode so that you can see exactly what Manchester United want us to achieve for this season. Now, youth development is going to be key for me this year because I want to try and bring in as many young players as possible. The team isn't exactly old, but there's only one or two positions that I want to try and improve through the transfer market. I probably will end up buying more players than what I want to, but that is generally just because it's players that I think will help the squad straight away, and then next season we'll look at generate more youth and to bring them through the squad as we go. Now, youth development, they want us to sign at least 3 young players, younger than 20, with a potential greater potential than what is in the same position already available to us. So it's pretty similar to what I've done before in the past. I did a career mode which I didn't record, and in that career mode we basically had to do the same, but it was 2 players that were younger than 20 with a better overall. We had to do 3 this time, so it was quite hard to achieve the 2 because you can't. To have a midfielder, you've got to have a midfielder that's better than Pogba, which is quite hard when his rating is around 90. The defense, is seemingly the same because Smalling, Bay, and Phil Jones, they all sort of develop quite well, and they've got a young defender as well we have at the back, which is going to be quite hard to put him in as well as a youth defender. The goalkeeper, again, you've got David De Gea, so that's quite he's got a good rating on you anyway. And up front you've got Rooney and Zlatan, so we're really going to have to try and have a look for some youth players to fit straight in. We have to sign 1 academy youth player that's assigned to the forward position. So realistically, we're looking at 4 players, 1 for the striker position, or forward position, and then 3 other players that are going to have a better overall rating than current positions in the team. So that is something that really needs to be worked on, and it's a medium priority. The critical priority is obviously brand exposure. With any big club, you're going to have to try and gain some money back. We have to gain 170 million earning in shirt sales, which would be quite easy. There is also 1 player that I really want to bring in this season, and I think with that 1 player we will probably gain a lot of shirt sales from that, and long term to earn 323 million through media earnings, through prize money, within 3 years. So that's seemingly quite easy. We should get that quite soon if we can win what we want to win this season and next season with this team. Hopefully, if we get into a second season. Continental success is to win the Europa League, which we are in, which I will show you the group in a sec. And we need to qualify for the Champions Cup, which I think is a realistic ambition this year. And within 2 seasons to qualify if we don't qualify this season for the Champions Cup. Domestic success to win the league and win the FA Cup. To outline what our overall target is with this career mode is just to dominate the Premier League and win as much as possible with Manchester United. These past couple of seasons, they've been sort of just lingering around the 8th to 4th position in the Premier League. It's no surprise to anyone the way they've sort of been the past season, or well, a couple of seasons actually since Sir Alex has retired. And this is sort of our way of putting that back to the way it used to be. We are going to try and win everything possible. So these are realistical aims for us for this season. Financial is low. They've got a good back in within 2 seasons to increase the club's worth by 10%. So overall, that there is exactly what we want to achieve and what we set out before we even started the career mode. Now, going back to the main menu, as I said, I did start a career mode. I recorded it all, but the footage got corrupt. So in the first episode that I was going to air, basically I just outlined that we had a budget boost, which I've put on. We started with, I think it was 100 million. We know 163 million. so that was good. And I've also unlocked one scout that will be able to find us a player with great potential without us having to search too much. So we've already got one of our expectations out the way, basically. In the first episode that I did record, I also showed the 2 formations that we want to run for this season. The first formation is the 4-3-3. This is predominantly what the team is going to look like. We're probably not going to change it too much. I have got a short list of a few players that I want to bring in, but if there is anybody that you do feel will help the series, please drop it in the comment, and I will look at them, scout them, pick them up if I think they'll fit in. But ultimately, this is going to be what the team will look like. The only position really that will change will be Juan Mata. Nothing against Juan Mata, but I think his position is more of an attacking role, and I want to bring in someone defensive midfielder like to replace him. Down by here, that's basically what the bench is going to look like until we bring in some players, and also down here there's a few players down here as well. Shaw, I will be interested in using Shaw to bring him on, but through pre-season I'm going to give Rocco a run on the back just to see how he does. And then the second formation is 3-5-2, which will mainly run in cup games. Pre-season we'll probably run it once or twice, just to sort of give another formation that we can use. I wanted to try 3 defenders. I think that 5-man midfield could be a key to holding possession more, and then obviously the 2 strikers up front. Rashford is going to be a big part of this year, included with Ibrahimovic. He will probably be more of a third striker with the other player that I want to bring in. But he is going to be a big part of this year, and hopefully we can use him a lot more, bring him on, and get a lot more game time out of him, so that this season he will obviously jump from a 78, hopefully up to around the mid-80s, and then next season, if there is another season that we do, we can push on with that then. So these are the short list of players that I looked at in the last episode that I ran through, so I'll run through them again. Anthony Lopez, Areola and Kevin Trapp. I put them on there because in the previous career mode that I'd done, just after the pre-season, David De Gea wanted to leave to go to Real Madrid, so I put some goalkeepers on just to make it easier if that does happen. They're all being scouted as well, so we can hopefully get some information on them. I do really like Kevin Trapp, so I think he would probably be a good player to go for if David does leave. 2 right backs, Nelson Semedo and Aurier. Aurier, I like Aurier. He's been good in France for PSG. Semedo is a sort of young upcoming right back that has sort of caught the eye at Benfica. Lindelof was a player Manchester United looked at in January, and I would be interested in bringing him in. Diakabe is just a young centre-back that I looked at. Bakayaro and Fabinho, both players Manchester United have reportedly been looking at for the summer. I know Fabinho was a lot of interest in January, so another 2 players we could look at. Sanson, I just looked at him so that we could just have another centre defensive midfielder that we would look at on here. To run through a couple more, we've got Bernard Silva, who's another player that's caught the eye in the Premier League from France. Tolisso, another player again who's sort of lit up French football for Lyon. Javier Pastore, I put him on because for years he's always been a sort of talisman for PSG, and I've always sort of liked him. He's always seemed to have been good on the ball, so it could be another player to come in, and he plays centre midfield, which could be a replacement for Juan Mata in that position. Marco Verratti, I've put him on here because it's Marco Verratti. He's been sort of constant for PSG in that centre midfield position as well. Fekir and Draxler, both cams. Draxler, he was originally the main priority for any season that I've done on career mode. His work ethic, his goal scoring has always paid off for me, but we can't buy him yet because he's recently signed for PSG. But he would definitely be someone we would look at in the future. Mbappe, he's been sort of brilliant in the Champions League this year and in the league for Monaco. I've seen him in the Champions League games with Man City, and he's been really, really good, so I've looked at him. Andre Lacazette, I think he's been on everyone's wish list for every team since he started scoring so much in the French league. Augustin, I have a PSG career mode, and he's played roughly about 7 games and scored 13 goals. I think he scored like 2 hat-tricks and then scored 2 goals in all the other games, something silly like that. So he'd definitely be a player I would look to bring in for the future, possibly when Rashford has built himself up a little bit. We could bring him in as another spare player. Guardez, just another young player come from Benfica. Now, this by here, Antoine Griezmann, is going to be our main target for this summer. He's basically going to come in and play with Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic is a good player. He's strong, but I prefer the shorter, more quicker, accelerated type player. So I think we'll go for him. He'll probably come in and just start as a second player for Ibrahimovic at the start of the season, but I can see him quickly becoming a prominent figure in the team. He can also play out on the wide, so if he does come on, he can come on in a variety of positions if we do keep Ibra on to get like the headed chances and things like that. But he is going to be our main target for the season. He's 58 million, so it'll probably take about 80 million to get him, and then the rest of the money we can use to bring in a centre midfielder, and any other positions that we feel we can bring in from that. Now, as outlined in episode 1 that, like I said, got corrupt, basically the training that we will do for this season will be mainly centred around Marcus Rashford, so we'll put some of these on now. We're going to look at focusing on him becoming a better striker. So for the first part of the season, we'll concentrate on Rashford. We'll also put Martial on for a couple now and again. Nothing major, just easy ones. They're not going to really drop too much on. Pogba, another player that we will bring on forward as well. And then at the back, I want to look at this boy by here. He's been in previous career modes for me. I bought him with other teams, and he's always proven to gone on to better things. So I'd like to keep training him because I think he could be a player that could potentially be one for the future of this football club. And then we'll go straight into pre-season. Now, with pre-season... Oh, hang on, I'll show you the tables first for the Champions Cup. In our pre-season table, we've got Seville, Leverkusen and Vancouver Whitecaps. The calendar for the pre-season tournament is Leverkusen, Whitecaps, then Seville. So I was going to simulate the Leverkusen game. Depending on the result we have in that game, I will then look at the Vancouver Whitecaps game. If we need the win, I will play that match. If not, we'll simulate that as well, and we'll have a look at the Seville game after that. In the Champions Cup, in the Europa League, we've got Celta Vigo, Aroca and Stromsgård set, which is going to be a sort of easy group for us. I would have thought we should qualify pretty quickly, which if we do, we will then use the other formation that we picked up on for the start of the rest of the games, and then we'll bring on the younger players to try and develop them more as well. So straight into the first game of pre-season, guys. We're going to simulate this match. Fosu Mensah did acquire a bout coming into the team for this game, but I want to try and play the stronger team and see how we get on. We take a nice early lead through Mkhitaryan, which is a good goal for him, first game for the club. And then Ibrahimovic doubles it as well within 29 minutes, which is fantastic. So we end the game 4-1, guys, and we actually played the second formation, which is really good. We only conceded 1 goal through Volland, who is a really good striker for Leverkusen. And yeah, that midfield already getting 3 goals in their first formation, really. Wilson did come on for Rashford, so hopefully that'll be a good run out for him. We have no new emails. I just want to go on to the transfers section to show the players that I was looking to sell. They're all loaned out, but the transfer listed players was O'Hara, Pereira, I've loaned out, Wilson loaned, Poole, Williams, Redmond, Mitchell and Buffon. I've put all them on loan because they're all young players that I think could go out on loan, pick up some good experience and come back. Wilson is still only 20, and he's sort of been around for a long time with Manchester United, but I think he'd be good to go out on loan to come back, and then from next season we'll push on with him as well, especially if we are going to bring in a another youth striker. I don't think it's wise to have him sat on the bench because it's going to end up with him asking to be played. And if I got to play the other striker, then there's no need really for me to have him on here. So in between these games now, we're going to go and have a look for Griezmann and put a bid in for him. So they want between 73 and 86 million. So I think what we'll do, we will try 75 and see how we go from there. We've still got 88 million then to play with and to try and get some more players in if we want to then. So we've had a transfer offer for Fosu Mensah, which I'm going to just leave there for now. See how we get on with the other players and see how we go. We're going to get straight into the Vancouver Whitecaps game. I'm going to simulate this game as well. And we're going to continue to play the 3-5-2 formation that we started in the last game and see how we get on in this game with it. So we draw that game, guys. Not a really good result. We probably end up playing the Seville game. We have 3 emails, all scouting, and they've an acceptable offer on Antoine Griezmann. They want 112. I think we'll go to 90 just to see what happens with that. We'll try them for 90, and then if they still reject, we'll try for 95 and see where we can go. So we've received 3 more transfer offers for Anders Herrera, which I'm going to reject and disallow because he's probably going to be a pivotal part of the team. The same with Smalling, but we've also received another one for Marouane Fellaini, which I'm just going to leave on there for now. I've rejected the one for Fosu Mensah as well, because I think he's a young player that I wouldn't mind keeping. We're into the last game now of the American Cup, which basically, if the Vancouver Whitecaps beat Leverkusen and we lose to Seville, they could qualify ahead of us, but then they do have to score 5 goals and hope that we don't score any. So I think we'll probably end up skipping this one as well, to be honest. We'll sim this and all, but we're going to run back to the 4-3-3 formation. So I'm not too bothered with the pre-season games because to me they're good because they can help you get used to the team. But for me, I don't really see the point of running them too much because for the series it's going to be more about the Premier League. We take a nice early lead on the 11th minute through Anthony Martial, and then it's doubled to the 36th minute by Mkhitaryan, and Martial gets another one as well. I think the 4-3-3 is going to be our main formation because it's going to be better for us. Rashford has come on for Ibrahimovic and scored a 4th goal as well, and we keep a clean sheet. So that is a really good result for that game. We get Napoli in the next round, and we've also got 2 emails. They've rejected another bid for Griezmann. So we're going to up that to 95 and see what happens with that one. I can't see them taking it, to be honest. We've still only got 70 million left then. And we get tournament prize money of 2 million for progressing to the next round. We've received another offer for Sergio Romero, but we're going to keep that there as well, because we're going to wait until the end of this pre-season tournament, I think, to see how far we can get, and then we'll look at some more players then. Jason Pickford is a good keeper for Sunderland, and he's playing really well this year, so he could come in as a backup goalkeeper for us. So we're going to play the Napoli game and see how we get on in this one. We're going to run the 4-3-3 formation. We're just going to get straight into the game. Oh, yes. Oh, come on. Mkhitaryan. Ibrahimovic. Oh. So the end of the game, guys, is 0-0. I think we go straight into penalties. And he saved the first penalty. So we're out, guys. We lost in penalties. 4-3 in penalties. It was a close game, to be honest. We should have scored at some point, but we just couldn't break them through, in fairness to them. But we're out the pre-season tournament. Just get straight now ready for the Community Shield game. So even though we've been knocked out of the pre-season, Atletico Madrid have accepted the Griezmann bid, so we're going to spend 95 million on Griezmann, which is basically we've got our main target now for the summer. So we've received a transfer offer for Kieran O'Hara, which we're going to accept, so that means he can go out straight on loan. We are going to hire 2 scouts, one a Russian scout who will go straight out on loan in he's going to go straight out for 9 months in Germany to see if he can find anything out there. And we're also going to hire an English scout that is going to scout through England and find us some young English players that can come into the side as well. So just to round off the episode, guys, we're going to put a bid in for a few players that we can bring in. I'm going to bid on Augustine, to offer 3 million for him just to see if we can get a young striker in as well. But there we are going to put a bid in for Pastore as well. That they're looking between 27 and 32, so we'll offer them 28 just to go over what they want. And I think we'll also put a bid in for Bakayaro just to see if we can bring him in as well. They want 10, so we'll offer 11 for Bakayaro. So hopefully we can sign them 3 and they'll all come in pretty cheap. So apart from Pastore, he's a little bit more expensive than the others, but out of them 3, if we can get all 3, it would be brilliant. We can probably let Fellaini go then as well. But for this episode, guys, that's probably going to be it. Just to recap everything, like I said, the first episode was corrupt, so it's all rolled into one. Sorry if it's going to be a little bit long. The future episodes will probably be about 2 games an episode. And while we're in the transfer market, they probably will be a little bit longer, but after that, I'll hopefully try and shorten them down a little bit for you. But just to recap everything, we've brought in Antoine Griezmann. We're waiting for him to sign his contract. We've bid for 3 players, Javier Pastore, Bakayaro, and Augustine. So hopefully we can get the 3 of them as well. We've just been knocked out of pre-season, but I'm not too bothered about that. It's the start of just getting to know the team and everything, so we still didn't do too bad. We've also set up 2 scouting networks, one in Germany, one in England. Hopefully we can bring in the youth players that the team wants us to bring in, and we can get everything set up for that. Please drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and leave a comment as ever if there's any players that you would like to see at the team, and hopefully we can bring them in. But yeah, please like and subscribe, and hopefully, guys, I will see you on the next one. Bye.